o'clock, and this is the Beer O'Clock Show, a weekly look at craft beer and the love of the amber. My name is Mark, and joining me, looking not at all stiff or sunburnt or frazzled from 3 days of rocking out to legends and wannabes of rock, is my beer mentor, Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hi Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you. It was great to spend 3 days with you in the sun and the rain and the wind and the almost hail.
Indeed it was. Yes, a fantastic time was had by all, I think.
Yeah, we were at the Download Festival, as we mentioned in the last episode. Just quickly to talk about that, they had an interesting ale selection for once. Last year they only had the Otter Bitter, or was it the Otter Ale?
Otter Ale.
And this year they had Otter, Hobgoblin, and an Iron Maiden Trooper beer store where they were selling a teeny tiny 330ml bottle for £4.
Plastic bottle. Don't forget that it was plastic bottle.
Which wasn't at all outrageous.
No, not all, and it was neither was it outrageous that it was £4.50 for a pint of either of the other beers out of a paper cup, and that they ran out of real ale by 3 p.m. on the Sunday.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate.
And shock, horror, all they had left was Trooper. So
anyway,
very clever bit of marketing there.
This week we feature a new beer from a Scottish brewer brought to life thanks to the wonders of social media. But before we get to that, Steve, other than your consumption over the weekend, what have you been drinking?
Well, it's been a while since the last show, and I've been on holiday as well.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah, I went to Menorca, and I was on an all-inclusive deal, and I was quite concerned about what the all-inclusive beer would be, because normally they state it's locally produced alternatives normally of something. But I was quite pleased to find when we got there that the beer on offer was Estrella, which is quite a well-known Spanish lager, which is actually reasonably quaffable as well in the sun. Very fresh and very crisp, very fruity taste to it as well, citrusy, fruity taste to it. So I consumed quite a few of those. While I was out there as well, I also found what can only be described as a Menorcan equivalent of a craft beer bar, which I was more than thrilled about. It's called the Can Guixo Bar. And it had over 100 different bottled beers on offer. So I just went in and I said in my best broken English, broken Spanish to the owner, "What's your best Spanish beer? Give me your best Spanish beer." So he gave me a couple of these 1906 beers, which are box style beers, so they're strong lagers, but they were really quite nice and refreshing. And I visited the place a few times, and on my last visit he said, "Oh, try this one, it's from a local brewery, only been open 3 months," and it was an American red ale. The brewery's name is Sa Bonabera de Menorca, and we're going to review this in a few weeks because I brought you back a bottle of it. But it was all I could. It's a craft beer. It's essentially an American hopped craft beer, and it was absolutely beautiful. I was drinking it at 10:30 in the morning. It was that nice and that refreshing. But I won't say too much more about it because we are going to review that one in a couple of weeks as part of our Euro season that we're doing this year. So other than that, and other than the copious amounts of Hobgoblin, Trooper and Otter that were consumed this weekend, the only other standout beers I had, on the way to Download, I found myself in London with a spare couple of hours, so I went into the Euston Tap for a couple, and that they had a summer ale on by Thornbridge under the title of Reverend and the Makers, again another band tie-in, and it was lovely. It was an absolutely stunning pint, beautifully hopped, really crisp, really refreshing, nice temperature, a real easy drinking pint, at about 4.8% that was. I then followed that up with a Raven, which we reviewed last season, but this was off keg, and it was even better than out of the bottle. If people want to know what we thought of it out of the bottle, go back and listen to that
Yeah.
show. I'm not going to go over it here. And then the last one I had, I actually enjoyed on the train on the way to download. Bought it from the Euston Tap as a takeaway, and that was a steam lager by Redwell Brewery, and that's one that our friend Nate has been recommending on Twitter. Really nice, really what you would hope that lager should taste like, rather than the mass-produced shit that it is put out these days.
Yeah.
So that, in a very large nutshell, has been my drinking for the last couple of weeks.
Very good.
It consisted of Euro lager that was free, and ridiculously overpriced warm ale at a festival.
But they had a nice cider on at the festival. You didn't have the cider, did you?
No, I didn't, and I believe you
remember.
ventured into the territory of the apple.
I did, because the one bar they had selling real ale was all the way at the other side of the field, which is like a mile away. And so I thought, screw that. I'm not going to have the Tuborg. I'll just drink the cider. And the cider was quite nice. It was nice and appley, as you would expect cider to be. It wasn't too bittery. I can't remember what the name of it was. I don't ask these kind of things.
Was it Summersby? Or
Might have
something
been.
like that.
Yeah.
Summerbee.
Our mate Andy was blogging about the festival, and he mentioned the name of it. But nice cider. Anyway, we have an announcement.
Whoa. What else have you drunk, or have you just been on the Becks again? Surely you must have drunk some other beer while we've had our little mid-season break.
I think I did, but I can't remember. I've been really slack with Untapped. I haven't been tapping anything in. I'm pretty sure we were up at the in-laws one weekend when we were up there, and I think I may have had something then, but I can't remember.
Okay. Fair enough.
I have had a couple of Becks, but that's just because I've got a box of them to get through.
Oh, I did have a session on Ghost Ship as well. We went to a party that was above a pub, and the actual pub had Ghost Ship on tap, and that was me done for the evening. I think I had about 5 or 6 pints of it, and could just about walk by the time we came out of there. But I was thrilled to find that there was Ghost Ship on tap at this party. It was brilliant.
Cool. Right, announcement time. In our last episode, we announced that we had a contest giving away a bottle of Trooper beer, 2 bottles of Trooper beer, with a matching coaster. Now that prize has been expanded somewhat after some haulage over the weekend. Steve, do you want to tell us what the final prize is now, and then we can go into the drawing?
Yes, it's now the two, and there's 2 separate prizes, so 2 people are going to win it. It's not one person winning everything. There's the bottle of Trooper beer. There's the Trooper coaster that came with the beers when we ordered them. There's a Trooper plastic pint cup goblet type thing, which I think was quite possibly only available at the Download Festival. And then there's another Trooper beer mat as well. So 2 beer mats, a bottle, and a container to drink your beer.
You call them beer mats in this country, don't you? Not coasters.
Yeah, well, same thing.
So one of the beer mats is a cutout one.
Yes.
Of the logo, and the other one is just your normal standard beer mat with the drawing on it.
Yes. I actually think this cup is bigger than a pint, because I'm holding it in my hand and I can just about get my hand around it. It's probably about a pint and a half. But anyway, I do believe these cups are limited edition. We did post some pictures on the Twitter feed of what the cup looks like, but you will do well to get hold of one of these if you were not at the Download Festival. I do not know why I'm showing it to the camera, because this is a radio show, not a television program. Let me put that down.
Yes, the contest involved simply following us and retweeting the many competition tweets that Steve put out on the Beer O'Clock Show Twitter feed, which is twitter.com/Beer O'Clock Show, by the way. And we've had over 100 entries on this.
Yep,
it's been amazing.
It's been our most popular competition ever, and some of the offers that we've had from people
and
for Sorry.
And threats.
Yes, threats, offers, bribes, all sorts from people to win this competition. So, yeah, two people are going to be very, very happy. A lot of people aren't going to be quite so happy.
All right, well, let's get to it, mate. Who's the
Okay,
first winner?
so I've got all the names are in the cup. It's the cup of destiny. I'm going to give it a shake. There we go. There's all the names going around in the cup. And I'm going to dig deep. And let's see who the first winner is. There we go. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it?
It is.
This is more exciting than
It's
the
really
lottery.
exciting.
The first winner is Lisa Jackson.
Congrats, Lisa.
And I think she will be thrilled because she was one of the ones that was absolutely begging us to win. So congratulations, Lisa. You're the first winner. Let's give the cup a shake again. Spent hours writing out these little pieces of paper. We could have just employed your random number generator from a previous podcast.
This is
for
more
this
fun.
task. Yeah, and the second winner is it's somebody else that was absolutely desperate. It's our number 2 fan, Michael. I'm going to call him Michael Doody. I know that's not his name. His Twitter hashtag is @h__ Doody, and I think I can't pronounce his surname without finding it on Twitter.
Michael Doody will do.
Yes, so it's Michael Doody. Michael, you know who you are. So they're our 2 winners of the Trooper competitions. You guys will probably find out that you've won before you hear about it on the show. But you will be asked to DM us an address so that we can get your stuff packaged up and sent to you. Congratulations.
This is like a proper radio show and shit.
That was really exciting, wasn't it? We should do it more often.
We should.
Proper competitions and stuff. Look at all those pieces of paper in there now. What am I going to do with those?
Bin them, losers.
Bin 'em. Yeah, recycling. Oh, how can we get better than that in this show? We should just finish it there. We're not
All right.
reviewing a beer this week.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, we are. And we're
Yes,
getting onto that
yes.
now.
Let's rapidly moving on.
It's all downhill from here.
Yes.
Okay, this week's featured beer is from a brewery that we've reviewed something from before. It didn't go down too well. It was an average review. And I have had another one of their beers before, which I left on the table in the pub, half drunk, sneering as I left. Let's hope they do better this week. The brewery is called Brew Dog from Scotland. And the bottle, the beer, is something that they sourced on Twitter via... Steve, I'll get you to explain it in a little bit, but it's called Mashtag. And it calls itself a democratic brown ale at 7.4%. Beer for the people, by the people. And that's as far as my back of the bottle research is going to take us. So, Steve,
Okay.
we were talking about this as it was happening over the weeks that they were doing this
yes.
little competition. Tell us a bit more about how it all came to be.
Okay, well, what it was, this was back in, it feels like ages ago, and it was back in March now that Brewdog did this. They took to Twitter and they said, basically, Twitter, we want you to design a beer for us. Over the course of 5 days, we're going to give you various options as to what the beer will look like, taste like, feel like, ingredients, and all the rest of it. And we want you, the public, to decide. So over the course of 5 days, they offered up different suggestions. So the first day was the beer style, and the options were stout, brown ale, or India Pale Ale, and obviously brown ale came out the winner because that's what we now have, what we're about to review. On the second day, it was all about the malt bill and the ABV. So it was, the options were an American brown ale at 7.5%. Again, that's what came out on top because that's what we've got here. The other options were a session brown ale at 4.5%, or an imperial brown ale at 10%. And I think from your point of view, you're probably glad we've got the 7.5% one here. On the Wednesday, it was all about the hops and the IBU. and the decision that came out there was New Zealand hops and an IBU of 95. And then on Thursday, it was all about what special twist was going to be added to it. And the special twist was adding hazelnuts and oak chips to the brewing process so that you get those flavours coming through. And then the last thing that was put to Twitter was what to call it. And there were 3 options that were put up. There was Brew Dog, Crowd Control, or Mashtag. And Mashtag came out on top. 58% of the Twitterati decided that should be the name of it. And I personally think rightly so. That's what it was called from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing. So that's what we now hold in our hands. It's the first Twitter brewed beer. Although Brew Dog brewed it and did all of that, it was Twitter that decided the ingredients that went into this beer, what it looks like, what it feels like, even down to the label was designed by a fan. And again, there were 3 options of labels to choose from, and people selected. So this is a democratic brown ale, decided by the people. What was it? Beer for the people, by the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're drinking tonight.
Cool. Okay, it comes in a 330ml bottle. That label is quite cool.
Yes, it's still very much in the Brew Dog style, but it's a good bottle.
Yeah. I seem to have misplaced my bottle opener. Help! Where the hell did I put my bottle opener? Oh, I've got another one here. That'll do. I like my other one. Oh, that's annoying. Right, so let's crack this open.
Yep.
And have a little tasty poos.
Oh, you instantly get a blast of hops out of the bottle.
Certainly do. And the malt. Good news, Steve, it's brown.
Yeah, you would hope so, wouldn't you? You'd be worried if it came out any other colour.
Yep.
Can just about get it all in my glass. There we are.
It's a nice dark beer.
Yep, nice head.
Thick head on it, yep. Kind of a cream coloured head.
Yep, it's a good looking beer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's just do a slight comparison there. This is a brown ale,
Yes.
produced by probably one of the leading craft breweries in the country, if not in the world. No matter what you think of them, that's their status. Compare that colour to the Newcastle brown ale that we did at the beginning of the year, if you can remember back that far. That was more kind of see-through, bit wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Compared to this is a very thick brown. You can't see through that. It's got a lovely, like you say, a lovely creamy, almost mocha colour head to it.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a good beer.
Yep. Let's get a whiff.
Smells good as well. Not really getting the hazelnut or the oak chips at this stage, but I'm not sure whether that's supposed to come through on the aroma or on the taste.
No, there's a grassy hops to it, which is reminiscent of other beers we've had that weren't brown ales.
Yeah, it's got a quite similar aroma to the Raven.
Mm-hmm. Right, mate. Shall we tuck into it?
Yeah. Cheers.
Right, cheers, bud.
Ooh. Sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah, for a dark beer, that is quite... has a nice sweet softness to it. Not as bitter as I was fearing it would be.
No, and you don't get the standard blast of hops that you expect from a Brew Dog beer on the flavour.
It's hoppy on the aftertaste.
Yeah, that's coming through in the bitterness, isn't it?
Quite a sticky mouthfeel to it.
Treacly, almost.
Yeah. I'm going to annoy my brother by saying it's hoppy and malty.
That's all right. He doesn't listen to the show. He told me that at the weekend. He only listened to the Trooper one because it was Iron Maiden.
Oh, right. That's all right. I only listened to that for the 30 seconds that the Trooper song was on.
Yeah, I know. Such good friends and family we've got. So supportive. That's all right. They won't get to this point in the podcast, so we
No.
can say what the hell we want about them.
Okay, that's got quite a... And the second sip, the bitterness is coming through now. I'm not getting the hazelnut.
No, I'm not. Are you? Is yours cold?
It was in the fridge overnight, and I
Okay.
took it out an hour ago.
I had. Mine's been in for 2 hours only, and then I took it straight out and poured it. So I'm just wondering if maybe some of those flavours will come through as it warms a little.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that we say that actually, because we've had some feedback on Twitter from somebody for whose life we seem to have changed. One of our followers, John A. Wilkinson, tweeted us to say, since listening to the Beer O'Clock Show podcast, I've been taking bottles out of the fridge an hour before drinking them for better tasting beer. See?
There you go.
Step by step, we still are industry leading in terms of what we bring to people.
Good on you, Jono.
Yep. It's nice to know we've reached one person at least that at least listens to the whole of our shows. Oh, I got a hit of something then. That might have been a hit of hazelnut then. I wonder if it's like when you eat a whole nut that, you know, sometimes you get a bit of hazelnut and sometimes you don't.
This is like dark coffee-ish chocolate.
Mm.
Really bitter, coffee, chocolatey taste to it. Not so much on the chocolatey, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Are you still on your search for the perfect mocha flavoured beer? Is that still your goal in life here?
I always told my wife if I found a beer that didn't taste, or found anything that didn't taste alcoholic and tasted like Coke, I would be an alcoholic. Or mockers. I love mockers.
Well, we've got one coming up next season that I think might fit that bill.
Okay.
But we won't say too much more about that. We'll start teasing season 3 a little bit, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Right. It's not a bad beer, this.
It's all right, isn't it? It's you know what, and I know if and again if people want to hear what our thoughts were on Punk IPA, we reviewed that in season 1. You can go back and have a listen to that and marvel in Mark's Scottish accent. But
Oh, I didn't read out the.
no, don't do it. We spoke about how.
I really want to now.
Go on then, I'll stop talking. Go for it.
Mashtag was an epic experiment in crowdsourcing, which handed the keys to the brewery over to the craft beer drinkers. We asked you guys to direct all the various elements of the brew, and you decided to brew a 7.4% American brown ale with oak chips and hazelnuts. There you go.
Brilliant. I'm almost speechless after that.
You love it. You love my accents.
I do love your accents. I forgot completely what I was going to say.
Sorry, buddy.
No worries. One of us has got to try and maintain an air of professionalism here.
If we're talking about the Punk IPA.
Yes, that was it. I think we spoke about how we felt as though that there was a certain arrogance that came with Brew Dog.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't seem to have that. This bottle that they've obviously eased up on the wording on the bottle and the whole fact that it's that whole for the people, by the people, democratic process sort of thing. It doesn't seem to have that arrogance, and I know that has absolutely no standing on what the beer tastes like. But it's actually I'm quite enjoying this. It's a really nice beer.
Yeah, it is. It's not one of the best beers we've had, but I would put it above average anyway. It's very well balanced.
Mm.
You know what it's going for, which is that nice, rich brown ale taste. And it's got the malts in there. They're not too burnt tasting. You're not getting too much bitterness in there. You're getting enough of the spice from the hops. It's got that lovely grassy aroma coming off it. And then there's that sweet edge, which I'm assuming is the hazelnuts coming through. Which kind of balance out the top of it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And a nice, rich bitterness in the aftertaste.
Yes, absolutely. It's like you say, it's well rounded. It's well balanced.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is my first experience of New Zealand hops, actually. That's what's been. I do find it ironic that it's an American brown ale with New Zealand hops.
Yeah.
You know, but
where does the American come into it? I don't know.
I think that's on the percentage side of things quite possibly, because American craft beers are quite higher percentage.
They're not always session beers, are they?
No,
they don't tend to be.
No. As we'll find out next season.
Dun dun dun.
Another little teaser there of what might be coming. I think the picture we put on Twitter a week ago might actually give it away.
Yeah.
But no. Back to the beer. Good beer.
The only downside to this for me is the slightly sticky mouthfeel. It's not entirely pleasant and kind of lingers a little bit. Makes my mouth a bit phlegmy.
Yep, I tried one of these the day they arrived, because I think they were released on. There was an announcement on the Wednesday at about 12 o'clock. My order was in by about 12:05 because I've been very excited about this beer, and the beers actually turned up the next day, which I was really surprised at. And it was then that when I looked at the packing note that I realised that they had come via Owls by Mao.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I tweeted them and said, I didn't realise that they came by you, and they said, we're Brew Dog's fulfillment partner, so we deliver all their beers, and as a result of that, I actually got in touch with the guys from Owls by Mao, and I went down there and visited their warehouse last week, which is an absolute utopia of beer. The place is amazing. I had a little look around the warehouse, stocked up the beer shelf, stocked up on our beers for season 3.
Yeah.
Was treated really nicely by the guys there as well. Really, really helping hand from the guys in the warehouse. So look out for more about Owls by Mao over the next season, because they did us a little deal on the beers for the show. So we'll be talking about them when we're reviewing the beers.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. So anyway, the
beer
arrived
shelf
on
is
Thursday.
bowing in the middle.
Yes. Mine too, especially with what's turned up today as well. I've now got stuff all over the floor as well. So got it on the Thursday, and then had a bottle on the Thursday night. Enjoyed it so much, decided I wasn't going to stop there, and then cracked open a bottle of Brew Dog Libertine Black Ale, which I think was about 8% or something, and necked that
on a school night.
On a school night. And I think I might have done something after that as well. I just decided to get on a Thursday night session on my own at home.
Good on you, mate.
Right, I've given that a good swell. It's warmed now as well. Still not really getting the hazelnuts. I get the odd hit that I think might be hazelnut. It's a good beer though. I like that. It seems to have evaporated as well, very quickly.
What I would say about this is, if you like a brown ale and you want a nice quality one, then this is definitely one to check out.
Yes, absolutely.
It is, like I said before, it's nicely balanced. I mean, I've got like one finger left in my glass, which is, for as people who have listened to the show for a while know, I'm not really a huge fan of the darker beers. I prefer the lighter golden ones, the golden ales, the sweet ones. But this is quite nice.
Good hops on the after belch. as well. Good beer. Good beer all round.
Yeah, thumbs up from me. Well done, Brew
Yeah.
Dog.
Yes,
You've
well
actually
done.
made a decent beer.
Yeah. I'm actually getting into the Brew Dog beers now. I have to admit, I've tried quite a few of them now.
What's that
And I've
one that we had in the Camden Brew
Dead
Dog?
Pony Club.
Dead Pony Club. That
You
was
really took a
atrocious.
disliking to it. I quite liked it. I tried it in a bottle again a few weeks back, and I found it really nice and refreshing, almost spring-like. That's the only way I can really describe it. But I've got quite a few of their beers set upstairs on my shelf as well.
Right.
And I've got one that they brewed with a San Francisco brewery, which has had it's been left in barrels with rum-soaked raisins. It's about 12%. This bottle of BrewDog beer, and it's in a nice little box and everything. It's a really special beer. I'm saving it. It's going to be my 500th beer on Untapped. I've got about another 170 to go, and it's got a 5-year shelf life as well. So I think I'll be all right.
You'll be sorted.
Yeah.
You'll get there by the end of the year.
Yes. No, I don't know. Well, no, it's quite possible we'll get there by the end of the year, because just looking at the shelf and looking at what I know we've got planned for the next few months, plus added to that the Great British Beer Festival as well in the middle.
Yep. That's only 2 months away.
Could easily be up to 400
Yeah.
by then. And talking of 400, almost seamless, we hit 400 followers on Twitter this week.
We did.
And we promised our 400th follower that we'd give them a shout out on the show. So our 400th follower was the Magpie Brewery in Nottingham, who we said to them, give us a message. Give us 100 on Twitter. Give us 140 characters. What you want us to say about you. So the Magpie Brewery in Nottingham is a Nottingham microbrewery, creating a wonderful range of cask and bottle conditioned ales with only British hops and malt, and you should be able to find them at the Great British Beer Festival.
Cool. I'll go
You
check
can
them out.
also follow them on Twitter at there we go, at Magpie Brewery.
Cool. Send us
So-
some beer, boys.
Yeah,
girls.
400 follower. If you want us to give your beers a sample, just get in touch.
I've got-
DM us.
I've got no
And,
shame in. I've just necked a 7.4% brown ale in about 10 minutes.
Well,
Don't expect too much.
no, but there you go.
Okay, so that's our review of the Mashtag. All round, how many bottle caps out of 5, mate?
You know what? I think I'd give that 4.
Okay.
Because it's just a little bit above your standard beer, which is my middle of the road score is normally 3.
Yep.
3.5 if it's slightly better than middle of the road. I think it's a good solid 4. I mean that's the second bottle I've had of it now. I enjoyed the first bottle. I've enjoyed that just as much, and I've still got one more bottle of it to go as well. So yes, an easy 4 for me.
Okay, I'm going to give it 4 as well, even though I don't generally like the darker ales. This is... And it's not something I would drink more than one bottle of, but it was a very enjoyable bottle. Very well balanced. Very drinkable. Even for someone like me who prefers these lighter, sweeter ales. So 4 out of 5 for me, which is quite surprising. I didn't think I'd be scoring it higher than a 3, to be honest with you. But if you're into your brown ales, definitely give this one a go if you can find it, or if you can order it somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
If you're going to order it,
yeah,
get a couple of bottles of it as well.
get a couple. Or you can enter our Mashtag competition, Steve.
Yes,
Another competition, buddy.
another one.
Give us
So
the details.
excited by the fact that we got so many people so excited about the Trooper competition. We thought we'd have another competition. Slightly different format this time though. Not a basic follow and retweet. What we want you to do is to tweet us and tell us in 140 characters why it should be you that gets the bottle of Mashtag sent to you. And then on next week's show, Mark and I and our special guest, who we'll be talking about in a minute, will decide on the best entry. So this is going to be a really short timescale thing as well. It's going to be show goes out Friday night. We'll do a bit of promotion about it on Twitter. You're going to have Saturday and Sunday. We are looking for comedy, humour, innovation, inspiration, bribes, threats, whatever. The best tweet will get the bottle of Mashtag. Simple one this week, guys.
And I think that 140 characters does need to include at Beer O'Clock Show.
Yes.
So you're looking at 130 or so.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
You're all artists. I'm sure you'll be able to do fabulously.
Yes.
So, speaking of our special guest, who is our special guest next week?
Next week, we have got Glenn Johnson joining us, who is on Twitter at Saint Glenn. He's another beer blogger and a supporter of Southampton FC, but we won't hold that against him. He's coming on next week's show to join us for a review that we'll be doing with him.
Yes, he will. And we'll also announce our Mashtag competition winner next week.
Yes, we will.
And just to give a slight end-of-season tease, we have a very special beer lined up for the last episode, which is going to feature, correct me if I'm wrong, number one fan.
Yes.
That's 79.
He's just checking with the missus-to-be to make sure he's free. But we're hoping that number one fan will make a second appearance this season.
Can I just say, it's still the missus-to-be. She doesn't rule your life yet, mate. Not till that rings on your finger. And that beer is going to be... Do we want to say what the beer is going to be?
It's let's just continue to tease it for a few weeks. But let's say it's a beer that was released recently in a very limited quantity. There's very few of them left, and we managed to get our hands on 3 bottles thanks to one of our listeners.
Yes.
But more about that next week, I think.
And it's a beer that frightens me, Stephen. I'm scared.
You know what? So am I. I'm actually terrified, but it's the end of it'll be the end of season show, so it'll be a longer one. We'll be talking about stuff that's gone past the whole season, so we'll have a whole 45 minutes or an hour or so to review it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yes,
but that's not for a few weeks yet.
No.
You've still got a little bit longer for us in season 2, folks. So don't give up just yet.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not going anywhere just.
No, we've come to the end of the show. You can find us on Twitter at Beer O'Clock Show, Facebook.com/Beer O'Clock Show. Email us at beeroclockshow@gmail.com, and the website is beeroclockshow.co.uk. You can find us on iTunes. Just do a search for Beer O'Clock Show. Give us a rating and a review. We really appreciate your support. And if you listen to us on Stitcher Radio, give us a little thumbs up, because that really does help with our rating. And again, we appreciate your support. Tweet us if you have any feedback on the show. Send us what you're drinking. We don't have to send us what you're drinking. Send us information about what you're drinking.
Unless you're a brewery.
Unless you're a brewery, then feel free to send us free beer.
Yeah.
We like free beer.
Just DM us. DM us. We'll send you our details.
We'll take it off
Shameless. Yeah.
So tweet us about what you're drinking. Let us know. We loved hearing from all you guys. It gives us a buzz to get feedback from everyone. And don't forget to enter that Mashtag competition in 140 characters or less, including the Beer O'Clock Show. Let us know why you should win the bottle of Mashtag Democratic Brown Ale from Brew Dog, which Steve has secreted away in his beer cupboard.
Yeah. Well, I've actually got a shelf in there now that's almost just labelled competition beers, because we've got at least one more to come this season as well. So
it's all happening here, folks. This is the Beer O'Clock Show. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stephen, as always, mate.
It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. It's great to be back after our little mid-season break. It was nice that earlier on this evening we actually received a tweet from number one fan saying, "When are you coming back? I'm missing you." So yeah, great to be back. Thoroughly enjoyed tonight and looking forward to next week.
We're here, Anthony. We're back, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, mate. Well, that's it. Cheers, dude.
Excellent. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.